On the 31st of January 2020, the United Kingdom, a founding member of the EU, finally left the organization with the Leave referendum, winning with 51.9% of the ballot, whereas the Remain only received 48.1% votes. It has been over 2 years of Brexit and things haven't gone as expected. During the third quarter of 2020, the UK economy was 9.7% below its pre-pandemic levels, which were more than double the decline seen in the US and the EU. In quarter two, the UK decline of 20.4% was the steepest of all comparable countries, and double the OECD average of 9.9%. Around 9% of the UK's workforce had remained on partial or full furlough, and with the extension of lockdown measures and the job retention scheme, unemployment had increased more than any other time on record. In June 2022, a study by the SIR's Deputy Director John Springford was published which examined the economic cost of the UK's departure from the EU so far, setting out to disentangle it from that of COVID-19. Now that many advanced economies have recovered and are close to or above their pre-pandemic level of output, we can compare Britain's economic performance to its peers. The results are troubling, he wrote. The pelengers have been constructed with each of them a basket of countries whose economic performance closely matches the UK's before the Brexit referendum and the end of the transition period. They provide a counterfactual UK that did not leave the EU. The Pellinger is made up of the United States, Germany, New Zealand, Norway, Iceland, Denmark, Greece, Spain, Luxembourg, Italy, and Australia. The remaining countries make up less than 5% of the Pellinger each, with another 22 other advanced economies compared to. The Pellingers have been estimated for GDP, investment, gross fixed capital formation, total services trade, exports plus imports, and total goods trade. The algorithm used finds the Pellinger from Q1 2009 to Q2 2016 data. The gap between Britain and the Pellinger grew to 2.9% by the fourth quarter of 2019, before the pandemic struck. The pandemic shrank Britain's economy by far more than that of the Pellinger, but the subsequent rebound narrowed the gap to 5.2%, or £31 billion, by the end of 2021. Another comparison of the UK to the average GDP performance of the 22 other advanced economies shows a similar gap of 4.9%. There was a clear Brexit effect, with gross fixed capital formation flatlining between 2016 and the start of the pandemic. By the end of 2021, investment had not recovered its pre-pandemic level and was 13.7% or £15 billion lower than the Pellinger. The Pellinger had recovered its pre-pandemic level, which has perhaps been the most troubling estimate. The UK's investment has only outperformed Japan since the referendum when compared to the group of 22 advanced economies. The UK services trade has outperformed the Pellingers by 7.9% or £8.7 billion. However, unlike the other estimates, if the largest country in the Pellinger is removed, the outperformance of the UK disappears. The possible explanations for the uncertainty in the estimate are that leaving the single market has had only a small effect on the services trade, and that COVID has overshadowed the impact of Brexit, as the UK could continue to supply services via the internet during the pandemic, while tourism collapsed. Post-Brexit, Britain's goods trade has reduced by 13.6% on quarterly data, compared to around 15% based on monthly data. The UK currently has reached a 40-year high inflation rate of 9.1% in May 2022, the highest among G7 countries. The UK, in a Changing Europe think tank, found that leaving the single market and customs union pushed up food prices in May, were 8.7% higher than in 2021. The number of people in work in the UK fell by around 480,000 between 2020 and 2021, but that was driven more by British workers moving into inactivity than by the loss of EU workers. In conclusion, the precise estimation of the impacts of Brexit and COVID on the UK economy is difficult. But it is quite noticeable that Brexit has severely curtailed GDP, investment, and goods trade. The recent war between Russia and Ukraine led to a shoot-up in gas prices and has led to new hurdles in the way of the UK with its existing internal conflicts between its countries.